drain that putt, and show us that it was in the hole. Hey, guess what? What? Brielle Clark is really fast. One good turn deserves another, so celebrate the outs and everything in between. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
I'm Howie Shapiro. Boy, do we have a jam-packed show today.
We do indeed, but it is kind of the end, my friend.
I know. I started to tear up a little bit. The end of another school year.
Yeah,
which is
and
just crazy.
Just one Coon Rapids athlete left in action. As you mentioned at the top of the show, Brielle Clark is fast, and she is headed to the state tournament later this week, her second trip there. But everybody else wrapping up their action the last week, and we will start with the baseball team. Start of the 7-4A baseball tournament delayed a day, so it was Thursday when the Cardinals welcomed the Andover Huskies in round one. Andover finished the season with a better record than the Cardinals, but since Coon Rapids won their only meeting this year, they got the nod as the number 4 seed and had home field advantage for the first round. Cardinals came from behind and won in extra innings when the two played earlier in the season. This time, it was the Huskies trying to repay the favor. Cardinals get just the start they wanted in this one. Bryce Peterson retired the first 11 Andover batters he faced, posted 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. They get the start they wanted on offense as well. Bottom of the first, Braden Farley hammers it to the gap in right center. Jack Arndt is going to score easily from second. Nick Lockinen able to race all the way around from first and score. Coon Rapids up 2-0 early. That score holds until the top of the fourth when Andover finally finds the answer to Peterson. They string together a couple of 2-out hits with Nick Dainty scoring on the single by Evan Enquist, and that cut the lead in half. Move to the top of the fifth, 1 out, a runner at second. Thomas Olson singles to center. They're sending the runner. Garlick comes up firing, but the throw is not in time as Max Lindstrom scores, and it's all tied at 2. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Cardinals with runners at second and 2 away. Brock Roloff grounds through the left side. Xander Parr trying to score, put the Cardinals back in front. Waddell's throw is offline, but a great recovery by Satrang. He dives, makes the tag. Parr out at the plate. Still tied going to the seventh. Andover. Runner at third and 2 outs. Hit toward the hole. Jackson Bates, great diving stop, but his throw not in time, and Lockett can't squeeze it anyway. Lindstrom scores. That turned out to be the game winner. Cardinals can't answer in the bottom of the seventh, and they fall to the loser's bracket after the first round. However, on Friday, they bounced right back and they blew past the Cambridge Ice Sandy Blue Jackets 13-3 in 5 innings. Lots of hits, lots of runs for the Cardinals. Jackson Bates leading the way with 3 for 4 day. He scored 3 times. Bryce Peterson 2 for 4, a double, a stolen base, couple RBIs. Also across the plate 3 times. Logan Severson had a couple of hits, drove in a couple. Caleb Ness 1 for 1, a perfect day at the plate with a double, 2 RBI, and a run score. Avery Lehman gets the win, 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts.
Well, another weather delay over the weekend meant the Cardinals had to wait until Monday to face the second-seeded team from Forest Lake. After opening the tournament with a 3-1 win over Duluth East, the Rangers lost a wild one to third-seeded Anoka 16-12. Now both teams will be fighting to keep their season alive. Late rounds of the section tournament held at Mark Field in Princeton, and Monday was a gorgeous day for baseball. Cards get off to a shaky start, bases loaded with 1 out, a chopper back to Hermanson on the hill. He spins, throws wide at second. 2 runs are going to score on the air, and it's 3-0 Rangers. Now, they weren't done in the first. Jared Henderson with a hot shot down the first baseline. Josh Lauer scores easily from third. 5-0 Forest Lake. Cards are going to get one back in the top of the second. 2 outs, runner at second. Brock Roloff grounds to short, but the throw is high. Pulls the first baseman off the bag. Ryan Garlick will come in to score and get Coon Rapids on the board. Move to the top of the third. Bryce Peterson with a drive over the head of right fielder all the way to the wall. Jackson Bates is going to try and score from first, but the Rangers with a great relay, and the catcher sweeps the tag in front of the plate. Bates pleads his case, but he's out, and the Cardinals trail 6-1. Bottom of the fourth, Rangers looking to add to their lead. Calvin Fandel grounds it back through the middle and into the center. Ryan Garlick charges it, comes up firing. Nick Lockinen slaps the tag at the plate. Another run gunned down at home. Still 6-1 Forest Lake. Fifth inning, Rangers load the bases, and Colby Walker unloads them with this drive down the left field line. 3-run double pushes the Forest Lake lead to 9-1. Cards get one in the 7th, but their season unfortunately ends with a 9-2 loss.
Yeah, certainly not the tournament they were hoping to have, not the season they had hoped to have. Of course, everybody got off to that slow start with how much snow we had through April. But a bit of an inauspicious start to the career for head coach Dan Mosse.
Yeah, he's dealt with
Matt
some things.
Did it again.
He dealt with some things in the season. They've been trying to find the right pitching combination. Dealt with some injuries late in the season, kind of hurt them as well. But he certainly tough shoes to fill when you're filling Jerry Coe's cleats.
Well, he's got plenty of time to figure it out. This is just year one.
I was going to say
took Jerry 25 years to make all the accomplishments he did. So
took the words out of my mouth.
And he got a lot of younger players into the lineup. So that should be interesting, especially over the next couple of seasons. We saw a lot of Xander Parr. Ryan Garlick made it into the starting lineup. On an everyday basis. There was one other sophomore that I should know, and I can't blanking on who the third one was. But in a lot of starts, especially late in the season, they had 3 sophomore starters. I don't know that in the 20-plus years that we've done it, we've ever seen 3 sophomores in a starting lineup for the Cardinals.
Typically, you wouldn't see that, and so you look at that club. It's great experience for these young guys to play that varsity level. You would obviously like to get a little more senior leadership, but when you get your young guys in, they hope to produce, and you look to work for next season.
Well, the Forest Lake Rangers made sure that it was not a fluke as they went out and they beat Andover today 10-0. Finished that one in 5 innings, and they advance to take on Anoka. That game is happening while we're doing the show on Tuesday night. The winner of Anoka and Forest Lake will play against the top-seeded Bengals for a trip to state. Whoever comes out of the Anoka Forest Lake game, of course, has to beat Blaine twice in order to get on.
Always tough to do. We've seen that situation many times year after year. It's tough to beat a team twice in that
back to back. It makes the game a lot harder. And any time you're in a double elimination tournament, you lose in the early rounds, it makes that climb through so much easier or so much more difficult. If you're able to win 1, 2, or in Blaine's case 3, get to that last round, and we have seen it happen.
We have
that they make the last undefeated team is not the champion, of course. But it's more often than not, once you get there, you've got the better chance for sure.
You definitely do.
Well, on Tuesday last week, while we were doing Sports Night, the Cardinals softball team was battling to keep its season alive. Third-seeded Cardinals were matched up against number 4 Blaine. Cardinals beat the Bengals 11-8 in their regular season meeting, but Blaine's bats were hot, while the Cardinals were still trying to find a spark that their explosive offense that helped them earn the 3rd seed. 2 arch rivals meeting with everything on the line. Coon Rapids trailing 1-0 at the bottom of the first. Runners at the corners with 2 out. Lia Johnson swings and misses, but Emma Heeman stealing second. Cam Schmelzer coming home on the throw. She's safe. Game is tied on the double steal. That only lasts until the top of the second. Base is full of Bengals for Mary Pardo, and she sends this one deep and gone. Grand slam gives Blaine a very healthy 5-1 lead, and they weren't even done in the inning. 2 outs and a runner at second for Madison Peterson, and she sends another one over the fence. This one to right, a 2-run shot, and the Bengals sitting pretty with a 7-1 lead. Cardinals have some power in their bats as well. Jade Gomez delivers a 2-run shot to right in the bottom of the 5th inning. It was set 8-3 at that point. Unfortunately, it was all the closer the Cardinals would get. They fall to the Bengals, and their season ends with an 11-3 loss.
Yeah, tough way to end your season, especially by that score. But you have to give this team credit. Zach Nienaber did a really nice job managing this team. They were up, I believe, 9 or 10 in the state, or the Metro at one point. So this is a good team, and they've got a lot coming back for next year.
They do, and they set some school records. And I mean, the explosive power that they had throughout the order was staggering.
Right.
It almost makes me speechless, which is pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, we tried to stop you from talking most of the time.
But they just hit the cover off the ball all up and down the lineup. And they, we talk about their pitching. You've got Sam Lom, who is just a sophomore.
Correct.
And, she dealt with some injuries, but she's one of the better pitchers in the conference.
Yes.
And when she went down with injury, you had another sophomore in Aliyah Johnson and a freshman in Becca Mastiller that stepped in, and the Cardinals really didn't lack for pitching.
Nope.
So you've got those three girls that are here for at least 2 more seasons, and we've seen it before. A softball team with a strong pitcher is very, very dangerous. The Bengals did move on, but they lost right after that game to the Anoka Tornadoes, who blew past them 10-0 in 5 innings. And then Tornadoes were shut out by top seed Forest Lake. Did not get a chance for the winner-take-all second game.
Forest Lake pretty good, number 2 in the state. Well, the state track and field championships will be held this week at Hamlin University. One of the Cardinal leaders will be there for a second time. Both teams had a lot of positives to take away from last week's Section 5 AA championships, especially the girls. There are a handful of other athletes that had a good shot to advance, and many to put up best times trying to make it happen. But just the one qualified for the big dance. No surprise, and that's senior speedster Brielle Clark, this time in prelims of the 100-meter dash, and Captain just blows past the competition. Finished second in the finals, less than 1/10 of a second out of the first, earning her way to the state for a second year in a row. Fellow senior captain Kamika Hurdle just misses qualifying for the state in the pole vault. She clears the bar at 10 feet 6 inches, finishes third in the section, just 1 spot from a trip to the state. Grace Henneman has been outstanding in her sophomore year, and she has a good race at sections, finishing 5th in the 300-meter hurdles in a time of 48.59. She'll be back for 2 more seasons. Brielle Clark again, this time in the finals of the 200-meter dash, and she comes up just short, qualifying in a second event. Clark finishes 4th in a time of 26.93.
There's some of your other top finishers for the Cardinals girls. As a team, they finish 8th, so right in the middle of the pack in Section 5 AA. Henneman also 7th place in the 100-meter hurdles, and as you mentioned, just a sophomore. She'll be here a couple more years. 4x800-meter relay team is 5th place. And look at the pole vault. You mentioned the pole vault and the shot put.
Yep.
You mentioned Kamika Hurdle finishing in 3rd, Hannah Gross in 5th. Unfortunately, both seniors. But the shot put, you got Ellie Biggins in 5th, Rachel Detters in 7th, and Adamola in 9th. And 2 of the 3, I believe, are coming back. So a lot to look forward for them. The boys team, very young this season, and did not have those really key, top-level athletes that could get them big points. They're hoping some of these guys will develop, and some of the depth guys as well will develop into those types of competitors over the next year or 2. Hoyam and Soto, the only ones to earn team points, both finishing 7th place in their events. Smith was 10th place in the pole vault. Tomasilla has finished 12th place in the 100-meter dash. Koji was 12th in the 400-meter dash. Gail Ntambwe. I had to stop myself, recompose. He finished 12th in the triple jump. I'm going to miss saying that name. We've been able to say it
for so many years.
Just an outstanding athlete in a couple of different sports, and a really nice kid. So best of luck to Gael Ntambwe. He finishes 12th place in the triple jump. Paul Breitbach, who's been a Cardinal leader in 4 or 5 years of cross country, also doing a nice job on the track and field team. He finishes 13th in the 1 mile and 15th in the 2 mile run. So good luck to the captain, Brielle Clark. Her second trip to the state tournament, well deserved, not surprising at all. She would have liked to have had some teammates join her, and the Cardinals certainly would have liked to have gotten a few more to qualify, but great to see her making it, and I'm sure that she'll be well supported with a lot of her teammates making it out to Hamlin this week to cheer her on.
You know that they will. Congratulations and good luck, definitely.
Well, state championships for golf will be at the Gem of Coon Rapids next week. Unfortunately, the Cardinals will not be represented. Bunkers Hills was the course for last week's Section 5 3A championships as well. Cardinals played well at times, but not enough to get them past the very tough competition in their section. We start with Matt Ammon. Had a bit of a tough start. He shot a 52 on the front 9 on Wednesday. The wink says it's still all right. He trimmed 6 strokes on the way back in, finished with a 98 for the day. Drew Erickson on the green, and this putt is just to the left, going to ring around the cup. He'll tap it home from there. He finished with an even 100 on his scorecard. Twin brother Alec Erickson working from off the green, long pitch and run here. They'll clean it up a couple of strokes later. Alex struggled with the back 9, finished with a team high 106. I believe the Ericksons are just sophomores. I know the next guy, Connor Wise, is a sophomore. He's enjoying his day on the course. Finishes this hole with a solid stroke from a 3-putt putt, smiling and waving to the gallery as he finishes with a 97 on the scorecard. Luke Medved, the only senior on the roster for the boys golf team, so he's the only one finishing his career at section tournament. Medved shot a 43 on the front, 47 on the way back in, and a 90 for the day. Carter Heeman, just a sophomore, but he's the Cardinals' leaders at section. He's finished with an 88, missing the cut by just 3 strokes. Cardinals finish in 11th place with a team score of 373. The Ericksons may be juniors. I'm not positive.
Still a lot of young players on that squad.
But yeah, five of their top 6. And I misspoke. Matt Ammon also a senior.
Senior, correct.
So 4 of their top 6 are coming back. That's really good news. And remember, this is a team that had a lot of numbers out early, despite the fact that they weren't able to get on the golf course until May.
Oh yeah, it was great.
So,
probably the last sport to start outside.
Yeah, so they will have a lot coming back, and there's a lot of interest that from kids that did not make this year's team. So there will be a lot of competition for the remaining spots next spring.
Work on your games over the summer. None of the girls golfers will be competing in the state championships either, but Ellie Carver did make it to the second round of sections. The senior has been the Cardinals leader all season long and was able to earn herself all-conference honors. She was all-conference for basketball as well, and she definitely will not be easy for either of the programs to replace next season. Carter teeing off in the fog at Norfolk on Thursday morning. She was able to improve on her first round score, but not enough to qualify for state. Carver shoots a 50 on the front and a 47 coming back in. Finishes her day with a 97 on the final high school scorecard. She doesn't get to state, but she still finishes strong and will leave big shoes to fill for this program. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a look at everyone else's scores. You see Ellie finished 26th. Able to compete on both days. Very even her first round, 49-49 for a 98. And then a 97, as you mentioned, on day 2. Rachel Bissett, next low score with a 105. Biz Kalo had a 109. Nicole Bissett had a 113. Whitney had a 114. And No finished with a 145. And another program that has a lot of numbers out, which is great news. They lose Ellie, and I think there's 1 or 2 other seniors. But, the unfortunate part was that they were not shooting their best scores at the end.
Which is what you want to do, obviously.
And I think there's, you got 2 or 3 girls that can consistently get at least under the century mark, and Ellie was the only one able to do that when it mattered most.
Correct.
And she will certainly be missed.
She definitely.
The Carver
sports,
family
yeah.
will be missed, not only in the sports, but also from yours truly that hosts Sports Night. They've been a fun family to watch the last couple of years. Well, the girls lacrosse team opened the section tournament last Tuesday, hosting a first-round matchup against Proctor Hermantown. The Cardinals were just 3-10 this season, but that was enough to earn the 8th seed, which gets them home turf in the 11-team section tournament. Hermantown Proctor was 7-6 this year, but due to the strength of schedule, they were number 9, made the road trip to take on the Cardinals. First season under head coach Ashley Swenson, and the Cardinals start sections at home. That's a good feeling. Weather was not so good. Far from ideal. A lot of umbrellas in the stands. No lightning, though, so they keep playing. Cardinals jump to a very early lead. Free position. Grace Hanula takes it straight to the net. Puts it home. Coon Rapids up 6-0. Cardinals being greedy with the ball, only sharing with their own teammates. Great passing play right here. Jordan Keller feeds to Hanula out front for the finish again. 9-1 at that point. Late in the half, Rowan Tom coming from behind the net. Great look to find Alyssa Brazier at the back door for the goal. It was 10-2 at the half. Hermantown Proctor said, that's enough.
We're done.
They said the weather's terrible. We're down 8.
A long drive home.
You guys aren't letting us have the ball at all. We're not even getting to play at your end, so we'll just call it a season.
We're gonna take our crosses and we're gonna go home.
And with that, the Cardinals advanced with the 10-2 win.
They did, but the challenge got a lot tougher for the Cardinals on Friday when they went to Blaine to face the top-seeded Bengals in the quarterfinal round. Blaine was 12-1 coming into the tournament, with their only loss coming at the hands of Blake. They blasted past the Cardinals 20-5 in their one meeting this year. If they were to have any hope to survive, the Cardinals knew they would have to contain one of the best offensive teams in the state. Bengals pounce on the Cardinals right off the opening draw. Gabby Rosenthal attacking with speed on the edge. She gets to set up behind the net, and Blaine has multiple levels of offense. Abby Jones on the receiving end. She finds room, puts it to the back of the net, and it's 1-0 Blaine. Bengals on the move again. You saw Jones drawing the defense, dashing to Bella Earn. She gets the keeper up high, and Blaine is up 3-0 at that point. Cardinals trying to keep close, not let the Bengals run away with it. Early great run by Grace Hanula. She'll put it over the keeper's shoulder. Coon Rapids on the board. They're trailing 4-1. But to keep the pressure, offensive pressure, you've got to get through a tough defense. Mason Holland has the moves to weave through the traffic you saw there, make the deposit in the net. Cardinals still trail by 5. We're late in the half. A little more offense for the Cardinals. This time it's Paige Foslin using her speed to get around the corner on the left side for the score, but Blaine leads 12-4 as they go to the break. They don't let up in the second. They pour it on. Nice little spin move by Ava Engler allows her to get loose in the front of the net for the goal. Blaine leaves no question as they end the Cardinals season with an 18-7 loss.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They put up a lot of numbers. Their defense is strong, but their offense is outstanding. I don't remember what exactly the average is, but they average 16, 17, 18 goals a game.
38 goals in 2 games against Coon Rapids.
And their next opponent felt the wrath just as much because the Bengals are hungry. They want to make it to state. They put up 19 against Forest Lake, blasting past the Rangers 19-9. And the section championship coming up on Wednesday should be a good one.
Yep.
Against third-seeded Champlin Park, who scored the minor upset over Centennial 7-6 on Monday to get their way to the championship. And that should be a good contest. Two teams know each other very well, but Blaine definitely the favorite. They have been outstanding all season long. Their only loss, as you mentioned, to Blake, and I don't remember exactly what the I don't remember what the score was. It was like 18-14 or something in that neighborhood. It was a close game, high scoring. So if you want a chance to beat the Bengals on the girls' lacrosse pitch, you better bring your shooting sticks because you need some offense in order to make it happen.
Well, that's it for us as far as the regular season, Joe. We're done.
Hard to believe.
Yep.
Come back next week and wrap things up.
Yep.
Tie it up with a little bitty bow. We'll update you, of course, on Brielle Clark. Want to wish her definitely all the best at state this week. If you have the opportunity to get out to Hamlin on Friday morning and cheer her on, please do so. We will have the results and then wrap things up for the winter or spring season next week. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us. Continue to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Alex Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying good night.